Bror Fredrik coming at you with another episode of Hey Bror Fredrik. In this episode, I'm going to answer a question from a viewer named Karen in Minneapolis. Karen writes, "Hey Bror Fredrik, you always give the mall hawkers a hard time, but at the same time, you always tell us there's a lot we can learn from them. Today I'm going to explain." Again, my name's Bror Fredrik, local Las Vegas-based photographer, videographer, cinematographer, and part-time philosopher. So today we're going to cover the 5 lessons you can learn from mall kiosk salespeople. I like to call them mall hawkers. If you're new, please like, please subscribe, share if you'd like, hit that bell button and get notified when I go live, which is Tuesdays at 3 p.m. and Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Las Vegas time, live from the Strip. So hit that bell and join all the fun. At the end of the video, I'm going to put up the 9% phrase of the day. If you drop that in the comments, I know you stuck around to the very end. YouTube loves it, I loves it, and it helps us grow our channel. So let's get into it. Mall kiosk salespeople. We all dislike them. We all get annoyed by them. I call them mall hawkers because that's basically what they do. They're hawking products from their kiosk in the malls. We walk by them. We try not to make eye contact with them. We do everything we can to avoid interacting with them. But at the end of the day, these people are very successful. A lot of them make a lot of money, and a lot of them do have a lot of customers. So there's something to be said for what they're doing. Now, these lessons that I'm going to share that you can learn, the 5, are not necessarily sales related, although you can apply them in sales, but they are life related lessons. We all get annoyed because they tend to treat people like low-hanging fruit. And if you don't know the terminology low-hanging fruit, that means the fruit you don't have to reach up for. Easy picking. So all you got to do is raise your hand and snatch that apple from the tree. You don't have to get a ladder and get the ones at the top. So salespeople have this thing where you go after the low-hanging fruit first. That means the easy pickings. That could mean the suckers in some scenarios. So nobody likes being treated like they're low-hanging fruit. We all want respect. We all want dignity. So when these people come at us in this aggressive fashion, we tend to get defensive. We tend to blow them off. We've all been through it. We play bumper cars around the kiosks in the mall. You know, it's a bit of a hassle. But as I said, there's something we can learn. I particularly get annoyed because a lot of times when I'm in the mall, I'm either filming, preparing to film, I have my phone out, it's usually on a stabilizer. My stabilizer of choice is a Free Vision, in case you wanted to know. And I'm obviously using my phone, but I cannot tell you the amount of times that they ask me right in the middle of filming if I want a phone case. So yes, I get annoyed, as you'll see in this clip right now. No, dude, you see I'm busy. That's ballsy, man. You guys are a trip. You think I'm gonna stop and talk to you about a fucking charger? Damn. Where was I? Sometimes I just gotta call these dudes out. You know, that's such a maneuver. Perfect example of what I was talking about. Was I annoyed? Yes, I was annoyed because it's kind of nervy to interrupt someone in the middle of what they're doing, and I'm obviously not going to stop, but that didn't stop this guy. So let's get into the 5 life lessons that you can learn from the mall hawkers. Lesson 1, don't be shy and be shameless. That is a characteristic of these people, and that's a characteristic we can all learn from, because being timid gets you nowhere in life. It doesn't get you the person you want to be with, the car you want to drive, the job you want to work at, the business you want to own. Timid is not the way to approach life. You have to be bold. You have to be a little bit aggressive. And in today's society, that used to be frowned upon, but that's encouraged. I'm not saying be an asshole about it, But you have to be bold. You have to have a presence. People have to know that you're there, and there's no avoiding a mall hawker. They make their presence known. They are shameless and they are not shy, and that's something we can all learn from. Lesson number 2, always ask for what you want. Plain and simple. That's a tenet, again, of the mall hawker. They're not afraid to ask what they want. What are they asking you? They are asking you for your time. They are asking you for your attention. They are asking you for your money. And they're not afraid to ask. And that is a huge life lesson, friends. In life, ask for what you want. If you sit back, if you have needs, if you have wants, if you have desires, nobody's going to walk up to you, read your mind, and hand them to you. You have to ask for what you want in this life. You have to ask for that promotion. You have to ask for that raise. You have to ask for that contract. You have to ask for that date. You have to ask for everything in life that you want. You cannot be afraid to do that. Learn to ask for the things that you want in life, and don't be embarrassed to ask. Everyone does it now, and you should too. Lesson number 3, be persistent. That's another quality inherent in being a mall hawker. They are persistent. They don't take no for an answer. If you say no, they try to find out the objection to why you're saying no and solve that problem. If you say, I don't have the time, what's their response? It'll just take a minute. I don't have the money. I have one for every budget. I have the latest iPhone. I haven't seen any cases for it. I got the case for you. You see what I'm saying? They find the objection and they find the workaround to relieve that objection. That is a sales tactic, but it also applies to life. You have to be persistent. If you ask for that promotion, you ask for that job, you ask for that contract, you ask for that date, whatever the case may be careful with the date stuff. Don't get pushy, learn to take no for an answer. But be persistent. Be persistent. You want that raise. Boss man, I'd really like a raise. I've been working here 2 years. My work's awesome. I know that assistant supervisor job's coming up. I'd like to have it. He says, well, sorry, not now. Is that the end of the story? No. If you have a contract that you want signed, you go out, you find the objection if they tell you no, and you solve that objection. That is life. You have to be persistent. You have to keep at it. You cannot give up after the first try, after the first attempt. Sometimes people want you to be persistent. You're being measured by that. Believe it or not, that tends to be the case a lot in life. But learn to be persistent in all the things that you do. Don't be an annoying asshole. Don't treat people like low-hanging fruit. Don't be obnoxious about it, but be persistent in all things in your life that you want. You have one life. You have to go out and get it and achieve it. No, if sitting on your ass is not going to get it for you. Taking no for an answer the first time is not going to get it for you. That's not failure. It's only failure if you take no, or you take that initial rejection and don't make the next move. So people, learn to be persistent. Lesson number 4 that we can learn from mall hawkers: don't take it personal. You watched that video. Did he take it personal? No. The mall hawkers do not take it personal. You can tell them to go F off. You can go tell them that they're low life. You can tell them, sorry, sir, not interested today. You can tell them whatever. They do not take it personal. And that's what you have to learn too. Don't take things personal in life. Don't take rejection personal. Don't take no personal, because sometimes, or even most of the times, it's the other person's issue. It's not your issue. It's their problem. It's their problem they don't want a new phone case. It's their problem that they have a rejection or a negative reaction to what you're trying to do, what you're trying to sell. 9 times out of 10, that's their problem. So why are you going to take it personal? So you have to learn not to take things personal, especially in business. Business is business. If someone says no to you, they might have their own reasons. They might have financial considerations. They might have had a death in the family. They might just be an asshole. I mean, let's face it, but it's up to you not to take things in life personal, especially rejection. What do these people do? You tell them no, you tell them to F off, and they see the next person walking by and they start selling to them. They're not harboring that. They're not going home going, oh, gee, Bror Fredrik called me an a-hole. My life is over. They could care less what I say to them, what I think of them, especially what I think of them. So they are the epitome of giving 0 F's in life. And people, if you want to achieve things in life, you have to learn how to give 0 F's in life. You can't be distracted. You can't be put down. You can't start feeling small because someone said no to you. You have to learn how to take that rejection and just move on. And if there's something you can learn from that rejection in business, when I was coming up, when I didn't get a job, when I didn't get a contract, I generally waited until I knew that they already hired someone else, being a photographer and videographer, and I would go back to them and say, listen, tell me why you said no. It's water under the bridge now. You're already working with somebody else. Tell me why you didn't give me the job. We had a great rapport. We had coffee. We laughed. We joked. We were inches away from inking that deal. And you said no. Why was that? I never took it personal. And you would get that information. They'd say, well, you were out of budget. Your time frame wasn't right. A myriad of answers. I wanted someone who shot on Sony. You're shooting on a Panasonic. I heard that you're just a jackass. Whatever it is, But I took that information and I learned from it. I said, okay, next time when I do a presentation, I have to talk more clearly about time frame. I have to talk more clearly about this. I have to ask them, well, what's your budget? Rather than letting them say no. So you learn a lot, but you have to learn how to not take things personal, especially rejection. And that goes in every category of life, from relationships to business to whatever it is. Don't take things personal and give 0 F's. And the final lesson, Lesson 5, is this: move on. Simple as that. These people have learned the art of not taking it personal and moving on. So when they hear a no, when they feel that their pitch cannot counter your resistance, they move on to the next person. That's life. That's universal. Why beat your head off a wall, at a job, in a relationship, in your business, whatever it happens to be? Move on. If you know for a fact that you're not getting anywhere, this isn't going to benefit you, you're not going to achieve anything, you're going to borderline get into a self-destructive thing. If you persist down this path, you have to learn to move on. They are the masters of that. Sometimes we are not. We don't want to move on. We don't see the writing on the wall. There's a point where persistence is going to lead you down a bad path. So you have to learn to recognize when to cut your losses. As I said, they are masters of it. We in our lives have to master that too. We have to learn when to cut our losses and move on. So let's recap the 5 life lessons you can learn from a mall hawker. Lesson 1, don't be shy, don't be timid, show no shame. Lesson 2, learn to ask for what you want. Lesson 3, be persistent. Don't be annoying, don't be an asshole, but be persistent. Lesson number 4, don't take it personal. Don't take rejection personal. Don't take no personal, and learn to read the writing on the wall. And finally, lesson 5, learn to move on and learn when it's time to move on. So those are the 5 lessons that you can learn from a mall hawker. Believe it or not, that's why I always say, They're annoying AF, but there's a lot we can learn from them. And I hope you learned something from this today and you put these things into practice, and let me know how you make out in the comments. I'm going to flash up the 9% word of the day right now. Again, drop that in the comments. Let me know you stuck around. If you have any subjects that you want to discuss in an episode of Hey Bror Fredrik, drop those in the comments too. And on that note, Bror Fredrik out.